Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take really influential, sometimes complex source material and basically we crack it open for you.
Yeah, we try to pull out the core wisdom.
Exactly. Giving you that shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. And today we're diving deep into a really interesting one. Thomas M. Sterner's The Practicing Mind. This isn't just another book about, skill acquisition. It really digs into transforming your whole relationship with discipline, focus, and even finding like a surprising calm in everyday stuff.
It's quite revolutionary in its approach.
We're really glad you're joining us for this.
Yeah.
This deep dive is brought to you by BookCast FM, bringing books to life one cast at a time.
So the central idea Sterner puts forward, it's actually profoundly simple. But it runs counter to how most of us operate, especially now in this goal-obsessed world.
Right.
He found, mostly through his own work as a musician, and interestingly a piano technician, that real mastery, that inner quietness, it doesn't come from just chasing the product.
The end result.
Exactly, the end result. It comes from really cultivating a deep, sort of mindful appreciation for the process itself.
Yeah.
He argues inner stillness is like the foundation you need before you can effectively acquire skills, not the reward you get after.
And that's the big problem he tackles, isn't it? That constant focus on the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are stuck in what he calls that outcome-oriented mindset or the product mindset, always judging now based on whether it gets us closer to some future thing.
Like getting the grade or hitting the target.
Yeah, or is this perfect yet? And that constant looking ahead, that's what drives so much tension, frustration, to be eventually burnout.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's unpack that. If we stop, measuring ourselves only by the finish line, what fills that space? What do we focus on instead?
Well, what replaces it is simply the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the radical shift. Realizing that the process, the doing right now, is the only place where real learning, growth, even satisfaction can actually happen. We tend to just want to rush through the now to get to the later. But Sterner really hammers this home. The process is the goal.
The process is the goal.
Yeah. When your mind is just fully absorbed in the act itself, could be anything, balancing a spreadsheet, writing code, practicing guitar, the pressure just kind of dissolves.
Because you're not worried about the future judgment.
Precisely. You're just concerned with the quality of your attention, your action, right here, right now.
His own story about tuning pianos really drives this home, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's a great example.
He talks about how at first he'd rush it. Wanted to get the job done, move on to the next thing.
Classic outcome focus.
Right. But that impatience, that hurry, it just led to mistakes. He'd have to redo notes, and it ended up taking longer and being way more stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It was only when he deliberately, consciously forced his attention onto just one note at a time.
Just that single note.
Yeah. Focusing on the pure sound of that one string, staying present with that single moment, that's when the work actually became peaceful and efficient.
He mastered the skill through being present, not by trying to be faster.
Exactly. Speed came later as a byproduct.
And if you zoom out from that, Sterner argues this whole model of constantly chasing the next goal, it's really an illusion of arrival.
An illusion of arrival. I like that.
We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I achieve X or Y or Z, but you know how it goes. The second you hit one goal,
Another one pops up.
instantly, it keeps you in this perpetual state of waiting, of almost being satisfied. He puts it pretty bluntly. You're never really going to arrive because the process of becoming never ends.
Wow. Okay.
So the journey really is the destination. Real fulfillment has to come from that deep, ongoing engagement with the process itself, not just a little blip of satisfaction at the end.
Okay. I mean, that sounds wonderful. Truly. But let me push back a little here.
Please.
In the real world, the professional world, we do have deadlines. We do have targets and results that matter. If I just detach completely from the outcome and get lost in the process, isn't there a risk of becoming, complacent? Like, how do you stay driven if you're not chasing that gold star anymore?
That's a really crucial point, and Sterner addresses it directly. He frames practice fundamentally as a mental discipline, even before it's a physical one.
Okay.
So you're not training yourself to be complacent. You're training intentional awareness. The motivation actually shifts. It moves away from needing that external validation, the gold star, towards an internal sense of quality.
Quality of attention.
Quality of attention, quality of effort right now. And to help with that, he talks a lot about non-judgmental awareness. That's in chapter 6.
Non-judgmental awareness.
Yeah, it's the ability to just watch your own mind, to see the impatience flare up or the frustration or the distraction, but without immediately jumping down your own throat or reacting emotionally.
Ah, okay. So just noticing it.
Just noticing. Stirner says it very clearly. Judgment slows your progress. Observation speeds it up.
Interesting.
That simple act of observation creates a little bit of space. It gives you a pause. And in that pause, you can choose to gently bring your focus back to what you intended to do, instead of just getting swept away by the feeling of, ugh, this is hard, or I'm bored.
So that awareness is the real muscle you're building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the core mental training.
I think this distinction he makes between a goal and a purpose is super helpful here, too.
Yes, absolutely.
A goal, that's the future thing, right? The
Yeah.
target way out there. Often something you can't actually control in this exact moment, but a purpose. That's the specific, intentional reason for the action you're taking right now, in this very second.
Yeah, it brings it right back to the present.
So, like, your goal might be, finish this huge report by Friday. That feels daunting, high pressure.
Oh.
But your purpose in this moment could simply be, I am focusing on writing this one introduction paragraph with complete clarity and calm.
See the difference. One is future stress, the other is present control.
Exactly. When you act with purpose, you control your effort right now. And you can actually find satisfaction in the quality of that effort itself, regardless of the final outcome miles down the road.
And the skill, as Stirner emphasizes, isn't about never drifting off. Your mind will wander.
Always does.
Always. The real skill is just noticing when it happens. And then gently, without beating yourself up, just bringing your attention back to the present purpose.
That act of returning is the practice. That's the growth.
That intentional return is absolutely key. And look, to make this manageable, especially when tasks feel huge or overwhelming, he gives us this incredibly practical tool. The 4 S words.
Yes, the 4 S's. This is where it gets really hands-on.
Right. This is like the immediate antidote to that feeling of chaos or complexity that the outcome-focused mind tends to generate.
Okay, what's the first S?
First S is simplify. When a task feels too big, anxiety goes up because your intention is just too broad, too vague.
Right, like get good at guitar.
Exactly. Way too big. You have to simplify. Focus on one single clear intention. Cut out all the other noise for now. So instead of master this presentation, simplify it to maybe refine slide 3.
Just slide 3. Okay, makes sense. What's next?
Second S is small. We often stumble because we try to make these giant leaps.
Guilty.
Yeah, me too. Stirner says take that simplified intention and break it down into the absolute smallest, most digestible unit of practice possible.
So if the simplified intention is, right, the introduction, the small unit might be.
Could be write 1 paragraph.
Yeah.
Or even smaller, write 1 really good sentence. Or draft 50 words. Whatever feels manageable, learning happens bit by bit. And focusing small just removes that mental block of the giant future task.
Okay, simplify, small. What's the third S?
Third is short. We often confuse just putting in long hours with actual productive effort, right?
Oh yeah, the illusion of productivity.
Exactly. But our attention span isn't infinite. Stirner suggests working in focused, concentrated bursts, short bursts, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Like a Pomodoro technique, kind of. Sort of, yeah. But the emphasis here is on training higher quality focus within that short time. It stops that mental fatigue, that sloppiness that creeps in when you just try to grind for hours.
And then you take a real break.
Then you take a real break, rest, then you reapply that intentional awareness to the next short burst. Quality over just quantity of time.
Okay, simplify, small, short. And the last one, this one feels counterintuitive.
It really does. The fourth S is slow.
Slow down in this world.
I know, right? It goes against everything we're told. We think speed equals efficiency. But Stirner argues rushing actually sacrifices awareness for just haste.
Which often leads to mistakes.
Exactly. Which forces rework, costing more time in the end. When you deliberately slow down, whether you're slowly reading a complex document to really understand it, or intentionally moving your hands slower while learning a new physical skill.
You actually increase your awareness and control.
Precisely. He has that great line, slow is smooth and smooth becomes fast.
Ah, I like that. Slow is smooth, smooth becomes fast. Speed becomes a natural result of doing things accurately and mindfully, and that often requires starting slow.
It's important to see how this applies beyond just, learning piano or sports.
Oh, absolutely. Think about non-physical tasks. Like if you're just blazing through your emails.
You miss things, misunderstand tone.
Right. You fear off a reply that causes confusion later.
Yeah.
But if you force yourself to just slow down the reading, slow down the composing, you achieve a level of thoughtfulness.
Which prevents future problems. strengthens relationships even.
Yeah, the quality of your attention, even your slow attention, really dictates the quality of the outcome.
What's so great about this whole framework, the 4 S's and
Mhm.
the focus on process, is how widely applicable it is. Stirner really pushes this in Chapter 7, talking about life as the practice room.
That's a key shift.
Meaning, basically, there are no unimportant moments. Every single mundane, maybe repetitive, or even frustrating daily task,
Doing dishes, folding laundry.
driving in traffic, sitting through a dull meeting, it's all an opportunity, a chance to use those 4 S's to practice just being present.
Exactly right. Daily life is constantly throwing these little unavoidable pop quizzes at us, testing our awareness. Usually they show up as frustration,
Oh yeah, that moment someone cuts you off on the highway.
or your internet drops right when you need it most.
Ugh.
Instead of just reacting, getting angry or stressed, which is that outcome focus kicking in, this isn't going how I planned, Stirner suggests using that feeling.
Using the irritation.
Yeah, using that little surge of tension as a signal, a cue to just observe it, not judge it, and then gently return to your purpose, whatever that might be in the moment. Maybe it's just, my purpose is to drive safely, or my purpose is to calmly figure out this internet issue.
He really reframes patience here too, doesn't he?
He does. It's not just about passively waiting around. He says, patience is not waiting. Patience is the calm acceptance of a process.
Calm acceptance of a process.
Yeah. The process of waiting in line, the process of fixing an error, the process of slow progress. Patience is choosing to be mindfully present with that process instead of mentally fighting against it, wishing it were over.
So when you start consistently applying this
Mhm.
process focus, this awareness, returning to the present purpose without judgment, what happens?
Well, you begin to experience something Stirner calls the perfect state of mind. It's essentially his take on the flow state.
Ah, flow.
He describes it in Chapter 8. It's the state where you're fully alert, completely engaged, but also deeply relaxed. Performance feels smooth, it feels precise, and fundamentally peaceful.
And the paradox is you don't get there by trying harder.
Exactly. It's not about forcing it or gritting your teeth to achieve a result. That state of mastery, where he says effortless effort is the hallmark of mastery, it arises naturally from awareness and detachment.
Detachment from the outcome.
When you stop constantly worrying about the score, about the judgment, your attention is finally free to be fully committed to the action itself. And ironically, that's when the performance often improves dramatically.
Effortless effort comes from letting go.
It's a beautiful paradox.
Mhm.
And the final culmination of all this, which he covers near the end in Chapter 9, it's pretty profound. Living with this practicing mind, it means letting go of that deep-seated need to always arrive somewhere else.
Somewhere in the future.
Yeah. You stop chasing future happiness because you realize happiness isn't some fixed destination you reach after you accomplish things. It's actually available right now.
In the quality of your attention.
And the quality of your attention and how mindfully you engage with whatever is happening. The quality of your life isn't determined by the number of goals you tick off a list. It's determined by how mindfully you proceed through each moment.
Wow. So when you make peace with the process.
You make peace with life. It's that fundamental.
Okay, that's a lot to take in, but incredibly powerful. Let's try and quickly recap the absolute essentials for everyone listening. The core takeaways you could maybe start playing with today.
Sounds good.
So, Stirner's wisdom really seems to boil down to maybe 3 key things. First, making that big shift. Focus away from the demanding, often judgmental product.
And on to the calming, insightful process, the doing itself.
Right. Second, actually using those super practical 4 S's, simplify, small, short, and slow, as tools to build and maintain that intentional, non-judgmental awareness.
They're your toolkit for staying present when things get tough or complex.
And third, really embracing your daily life as the training ground. Seeing every little task, every frustration as a chance to practice. No unimportant moments.
Every moment is practice.
Okay, so building on that. If mastery is this ongoing loop of practice, not a destination, and if happiness, real contentment, is found right now in the process.
Then it raises a really interesting question for you, the listener, to ponder.
Which is,
What single product goal, what future achievement are you currently allowing to postpone your happiness? What are you waiting for that's stopping you from fully engaging with the quality of your life right now?
oh, that is a brilliant thought to leave everyone with. Really forces a bit of self-reflection, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if this deep dive into Thomas M. Stirner's wisdom has got you thinking, we absolutely encourage you to dive deeper yourself. pick up a copy of The Practicing Mind.
It's well worth a read.
For sure. You can find a link to purchase it right there in the description. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Once again, this was presented by BookCast FM, bringing books to life one cast at a time.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time for more essential insights.